What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Phasmophobia Beginner's Guide. Today we're going over our very first map in Phasmophobia. Today we are covering the Tanglewood Street House. In this video I'm going to be going over good placement areas for equipment, item spawn areas, main hiding places for this map, and specific tactics that we personally use for Tanglewood. Now, as always, before we get into the video, I have timestamps for each little section down below in the description. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So Tanglewood Street House is the very first house that you encounter in the game in your tutorial, if you did it. But Tanglewood is the smallest house in the game, which means you don't have to be placing sound sensors at each corner to get enough coverage. For Tanglewood, we only place 2 sound sensors down, one in the entrance hallway on the left, and one in the corner slot next to the master bedroom. Placing these here gives you coverage of almost every single room. You miss a couple rooms with this method, but you get coverage almost everywhere else, and there's no overlapping sensor area, so you aren't going to be confused at all. And more often, within the first couple minutes or so of placing these down, you can narrow down where the ghost is extremely fast. This map, for sound sensors wise, isn't much to cover since it's so small, but one piece of equipment that we use besides the sound sensors is the motion sensors. And 99% of the time we will place one motion sensor in the hallway leading to the kitchen, and this is mainly helpful for if you're dealing with a roamer ghost, because since it's so small, they will almost always pass it if they're within like the back half of the house. So for equipment wise, these are really it. You're not going to be dealing with having to put stuff down to get coverage everywhere since it is so small. So let's move on. Next up is the biggie in the video, and that is where the items spawn. And I'm talking about the keys, the Ouija board, the sinks, and the circuit breaker. So in this first part of this little part, I'll be going over the spawning locations that are constant every single time you load in, and that is the keys and the sinks. And then I'll cover the Ouija board and the circuit breaker after that. So first, for the keys, we have the 2 unknown keys, which at this moment on this map, we don't know what they do. And that is the green key and the blue key. The 2 locations for these is on the toolbox in the garage, and the other one being on the little cabinets in the dining room on the left next to the table. We don't know where these go or what they're used for. I've tested them out on pretty much every single door in the house, and I haven't had any luck. But if you have found any purpose for these keys, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to actually find out what they do, if they do anything right now. And then the 3rd key that you have is the car key fob, and this one is useful if the ghost is in the garage and they turn on the car alarm and it's beeping constantly. It's very annoying. So the key fob for the car helps shut that up. And where that spawns is the entrance table on the right, and that is in the green bowl. So it's always there. You don't really have to worry about trying to track it down. Next up is something obvious, but I figure I would pretty much bring it up since, so you know, and that is the sinks. So the sinks will spawn in the master bathroom, the kitchen, of course, and the guest bathroom. All those locations are where the sink spawns, and sometimes the ghost will turn it on for you, and other times you'll have to ask it. But the sinks are really just used for getting objectives completed and getting extra money. So that's it for the sinks. Now on to the final things, which are the variable spawns, which is the circuit breaker and the Ouija board. So for the circuit breaker, the 2 locations it will spawn are in the garage on your left hand side when you enter it, and on the basement on the back wall. Now for the breaker, it will show you where it is on the map in the trailer, so check that before, but I mean, if you forget, those are the 2 locations they'll always be on Tanglewood. And last off is the spawning locations for the Ouija board. Now bear in mind, these don't spawn 100% of the time, but if they do spawn, the 3 locations are the master bedroom closet, the utility room, and the garage near the driver's side of the car. Side note, I will be covering spawnable items in a future video, so keep your eyes out for those, just talking about how to use them mainly. But that's it for spawning locations for items at Tanglewood Street House. One more thing I forgot to add while editing this video is the bones. So for my team at least, we haven't found a foolproof layout of where the bones spawn at certain times. It seems very random, but for us at least, we've found them in the 2 bedrooms on the floor somewhere, and also we found them in the closets. So if you haven't just seen them lying around in any of the bedrooms, just check the closets, it's more than likely in there. But for the bones, it's very random. They aren't going to be in the same place in a certain amount of times, so that's really it for the bones. So next up, we're going to talk about where the hell to hide so you don't die in Tanglewood. Since this map is so small, it's pretty difficult to really hide when you're being hunted, since there's a good chance the ghost is either in one half of the house or the other. So for hiding places, there isn't a whole lot, but keep in mind that you can just go into a room and close it as long as you're not dealing with a wraith who can just go through doors and walls. But that's something that you should just be able to do anyways, so keep that in mind, but I'm not going to be covering that. I'm just going to be going over the locations for the closets. So for the closets, there's only 4, and those 4 are in the entrance hallway on your right. The second one is in the foyer, in the middle of the bathroom and the nursery. There's just a little closet there. There's one closet in the boys' bedroom in front of its bed, and of course there's the master bedroom closet in the master bedroom, of course. So for hiding places, that's really it. Just try and hide if you're being hunted, if you can't get out of the house before that happens. So that's it. And last off for the day is the specific tactics that me and my team use whenever we're at Tanglewood Street House. Now, I'm not going to be talking about the motion sensors or the sound sensors because I already covered that. So, one good thing with this map is how damn small it is. And I say great meaning both things, sarcastically and genuinely great. Right now, I'm talking about how great it is, because these are things that will pretty much get you in and out as fast as possible. Now, if you're dealing with a 3 to 4 person team, try and have 2 people, as I've talked about before, going with one, the EMF reader, and the second person going with the thermometer, and just doing a complete sweep in every single room. And since this map is so small, you can do that sweep in less than 2 minutes, and 99% of the time you'll find where the ghost is before it can even hunt you, if you're not on pro, of course. But the sweep mixed with the sensors, you can get in and out with all of your evidence within easily less than 10 minutes if you have a 3 or more person team. So this video has been pretty short, and these tactics are pretty short because this map is so tiny. Other videos will probably be a little longer because there'll be more surface area, literally, to cover. So that's it for tactics. Yeah. That's it for my very first map guide in the beginner's guide of Phasmophobia, covering Tanglewood Street House. I'll be releasing every other map in the game in the coming days. If you like this video and want to see more videos like this and more VR gameplay and guides like this, be sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. I release new videos every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and I also stream on Twitch live every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. If you have anything else that you want me to cover in Phasmophobia, or anything else VR related for that matter, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Alrighty, everyone, have a great time. I'll see you next time. Bye. Try to get something, at least for a couple minutes.